So we talked about what was Andy? Let me make sure I get his name right one more time. Andy Lister. Andy Lister was the lead stunt double for Taskmaster. And if you look no further than, again, repeating what I just said, look no further than the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as well as what DC does. What it does, not unfortunately, more fortunately for me, unfortunately for you crackheads who sit up here and get mad at me for not liking the depictions that we get of comic book heroes because reasons. But some of the arguments that you guys like to throw to my way when we see tokenizations, when we see all of these other things, is the best people for the job. How many times you heard that when you get a tokenization in the movie, they say, well, that person was the best person for the job. Right? The best person for the job. Race isn't integral to the character. Now, we know that's bullshit. I've said time and time again that Hollywood doesn't work like that. Hollywood has, they're more direct with how they cast. They have a certain type of person in mind. They have a certain look in mind. Before you would even, let's say, be offered the gig to even try out for it, if they don't already have the actor or actress in mind. That's how they operate. It's not generally never just a free ball casting. It's not how it works. So any tokenization that you generally see in Hollywood is purposeful. It's something that was direct. It was something that they specifically wanted to do. And if you go down the rabbit hole of looking for this information, they tell you. For example, with Black Canary in Birds of Prey, they were specifically looking to cast someone that could hold a note, but also someone that was biracial. They were like, so you getting a white Black Canary wasn't even on the table because that was who they were looking for to cast. But we were thinking, considering Andy Lister was the lead stunt double in Taskmaster, if you look no further you don't need to look any further than that to prove that, well, these guys are not getting the best people for the job, and they are, as I say, vanity projects. See, Hollywood got their greasy hands on comic book material, and they've had it for a minute now, but now it's like complete mainstream. It's different from getting a Batman film here, a Superman show here. Now it's like everybody wants their hands on like, for example, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They want their hands on it because it is a way for them to advance their careers, their vanity projects effectively. But I was thinking about this during the last segment because it kind of, what it does is amplify what it was that I had been saying about this, and that I never, ever, ever care about the castings. And what I mean by that, not that they don't need to look or act the role. No, it's the opposite. I want them to look and act the role, but that's the only requirement that I have. So, you get people, for example, that have asked me, hey, how do you feel about this and that, right? A person playing whoever the character is. And I usually say, I don't care. It doesn't mean anything to me because I'm not looking for you're not selling the film to me. And maybe for a normie, they'll watch, Brie Larson's in the Captain Marvel. I'm going to watch it because I like Brie Larson. I don't know anybody I've never met anybody that would say that, but there's probably 2 or 3 people that may say that, but I don't give a shit. I've said whether they get someone off the damn street, it wouldn't matter to me. The name of the actor isn't selling it for me. I don't give a shit. I'm not even a movie buff like this. I just want someone to look and act the part. So, with that being said, considering Andy Lister is basically Taskmaster, not the chick, why don't they use actual people? I'm sure there are plenty of stunt doubles that can act. Hell, most of them probably got into that line of work by way of some sort of acting. And then kind of falling back into more of a stunt double role. Now, there's probably logistics obviously associated with that, but you get what it is that I'm saying. These are the people that we're going to talk about most suited for the job, the best person for the job. Who better to play these guys than actual athletes? Actual stunt. Who better to play actual superheroes than those guys? You're supposed to make it believable, and they're the ones that carry all the work anyway. When you get blurred kind of faces and stuff like that, because they don't want you to see that the fact that it's not Anthony Mackie that's doing that shit. You know what I mean? Why aren't they the ones playing the characters? if it's such about the best person for the role. Like I say, I know that there are people that could act those roles. They may not sell the movie because they're not that known, but who cares? The movie is supposed to be sold by the character that they're playing, not by the person that is filling a suit. If anything, the person that's filling a suit, you're supposed to make it believable to us who they are. Now, I've said before that stunt doubles don't get nearly enough credit in Hollywood because they're usually the ones that carry these films, definitely when it comes to action films. So if they truly were getting the best people for the job, we see a bunch of people who were actual athletes that could act their way out of a paper sack playing these roles. Not Brie Larson, who needed a fucking butt double. Not Brie Larson. I'm only ragging on her, just using that as an example. Hell, again, or not whoever the chick that's playing Dreykov. Hell, they couldn't even get the person that was the same gender as Antonia Dreykov instead of Tony Masters. The actual Taskmaster is Eddie Lister guy. Why didn't he just play fucking Taskmaster? Or someone like that? I'm just saying. They aren't, and more so I'm using this as further proof. They aren't. They never were. They're not getting the best people for the job. Retire that shit argument along with your mantle argument anytime we see a tokenization. Hollywood is doing what Hollywood has always done, but especially now. Comic book movies are vanity projects. They are things that people use to advance their careers. And that's not just with the actors and actresses. This is just what we're using it for example when it comes to this direct example. But it goes from the directors, the producers on down. There are things that they want to do and they want to implement to showcase that their talent level. They have zero connection to this material. And it's often why it definitely nowadays, why I've moved to more of the opinion of I don't even want my favorite characters to appear in the Marvel Cinematic Universe because I know they're going to fucking run them into the ground because these guys don't have integrity. To them, they don't want to, like I would recommend that they do, or rather I would like that they do, is have adaptations that are more direct and more akin to what the main representation, we talk about representation of them in the comic books. They would never do that, or they don't want to do that. They only do looser depictions because they can't showcase their autism. I almost said autism. But I guess they are showcasing that. But you get what I'm saying. They can't showcase how artistic, not autistic, artistic they are if they don't leave their stamp on it. And that's what they want to do. So that's why you get all these changes, because they want to make sure you know it's them. So to that, this is a question that I have for you guys, as well as a question for, if you're watching this after the fact, live or after the fact. Why aren't they going after the actual athletes, the stunt doubles and such, to play these characters? They'll put them in the background. They'll put them in a Wonder Woman movie as Amazons. If you guys know, they did some great castings on like some of the Amazons in the I think you see them in Justice League as well. But you get these like shredded chicks, probably a lot of CrossFitters who are just jacked. Like those are Amazons. You know what I mean? Why put them in the background, not the forefront? Those types of people should be playing virtually every comic book character that we get, because these are supposed to be human beings in peak condition, not people that need butt doubles. You just watched a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake. Catch us live at 12 p.m. throughout the week over at youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and follow us over at odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. If you want to watch the entire video cast after the show is over, just be sure to become a member on the YouTube channel. Of course, the full audio portion of the podcast is available for free on all major digital platforms, or just visit forcanonsake.com.